welcome to class today. I am glad to have you here. Today we will be discussing about the Microsoft Excel interface. We are going to be looking at the various icons on the Microsoft Excel interface and what they represent. What are their uses? When are we supposed to use them? And of course, we are going to be looking at the bars, the different names they are called. Stay put on the class as we continue. It's going to be a very interesting class. The Microsoft Excel interface has several segments. One of the segments is the upper segment, which represents the name bar. If you look at this green area, you can see that this is where the name or title of the document we are working on. The name and the title of the document we are working on is represented. You can see the book 1 Excel up here. That represents the name of the document we are working on. That represents the title of the document we are working on. And within this area also there are some other icons like the save button, the undo button, and the redo button. You can also see this icon pane drop out. It has some things hidden inside it which we may not really use for now, but later we will come back to this. Then at the top right side you will see the ribbon displayed. It has its own uses and we will be talking about that later. We have the minimize button, we have the restore down button. You can also use it to maximize or expand the interface. We have the close button. These are some representations of some of the icons which are seen on this title area of the Microsoft Excel interface. Okay, while we proceed, we will also see some other segments of the Microsoft Excel interface which has to do with the menu. Under the name or title bar you have the menu bar. The menu bar contains several icons. These icons are as a result of the menus which are on the menu bar of the Microsoft Excel interface. Just as you can see on this particular menu, all the icons represented on this menu bar, all the icons here fall under the home menu. And if you click on the insert menu, there are some other icons that fall under the insert menu. These are the icons that fall on the insert menu. We have the page layout, formula menu, we have the data menu, we have the review menu, and we have the view menu. We have the file menu. All these can only be seen on the menu bar. Just as we have the home menu, now we have the icons bar. Icons bar come out as a result of the menus. The icons bar rely on the menu bar to bring out its functions. It is only when the menu is selected that the icons bar displays its icons, and each of the icons have their several usages and uses. So we are going to be explaining all of this one after the other as far as we keep following up with the class. Inside the icon bar we have different segments. Just under the menu, represented in some with some icons, you can see the clipboard area, the font area, the alignment area, the number area, the styles area, the cells area, the editing area, and so many others which can be seen in different or various areas of the menu and icons bar. These are groups or segments within the icon bar which are as a result of the drop down from the menu bar in the Microsoft Excel interface. We are going to be taking each and every one of them one after the other as we proceed with the class. After the clipboard segments and its titles, we have the name box. The name box, we will be talking about what it represents later. Then we have the formula area, the formula box. We are also going to be discussing what this particular area, which happens to be the formula box, stands for. And here is the formula bar. This area is called the formula bar. We will be talking about what it means or what it is used for later. Right under the formula bar, we have the select all button. This button is used when you want to click and select the entire worksheet. We are going to be using it in due time. After the select all button here at the top left side, you can see the alphabets represented on each of the columns in the Microsoft Excel interface here. And this area is called the column alphabets. For your information, the ABC that we know has 26 letters and it stops at Z. But in the column alphabets that we have in the Microsoft Excel interface, when it gets to Z, it starts counting again from AA down to where it stops. Maybe I gave you that as an assignment to find out the end of the Microsoft Excel column alphabets. After the column alphabets, at the left side you have the row numbers. These numbers represented here are the row numbers. You can also find out where the row numbers end at the end of this particular sheet or at the end of the sheet you're working with. At the right side, we have the scroll button. The scroll button is used to scroll the entire worksheet in the Microsoft Excel interface. And the scroll button can expand depending on the size of the document you are working on. We have the scroll button by the right side. The scroll button by the right side is called the vertical scroll button. Still at the right side, under it we have the horizontal scroll button under the vertical scroll button. The horizontal scroll button can also expand or can also be used to expand the workspace or the worksheet that you are using. And after that, each of the sides of the heads here stands for scroll. When you put your cursor there and click, it scrolls each sides of the page depending on how or where you want it. Coming back to the left side, at the bottom part of the interface here, we have the sheet, and the plus you have just beside the sheet here is used to add sheets in this particular workbook. We will come to that later. Also, at the bottom right side, we also have some icons in it. We'll talk about them, we'll discuss them and their uses. Then beside the other icons, we have the zoom button. Beside it, we have the zoom button. Just at the bottom right side, we have the zoom button. The zoom button is used to increase the readability or size of the interface that you're working on. So, and finally, we have here the workspace. The entire workspace in Microsoft Excel is called a worksheet. When you open a Microsoft Excel, you have your worksheet. Now, this can further be explained because we have the worksheet as the interface, while we have the workbook, which contains the worksheets. These two sometimes are misused by some users of the Microsoft Excel interface. These two sometimes are misused by some users of the Microsoft Excel interface. What they misuse is the worksheet and the workbook. The worksheet is just a page, just like the page of a document, just like the page of your book, just like the page of any of the notebooks that you have, while the workbook is the entire book, the entire workbook. That is just the typical illustration of what a workbook and a worksheet is. A workbook contains several worksheets, while the worksheet contains pages. Just the way you can split the pages of your notebook into segments is just the way you can split the worksheet into several other pages inside it. A page in the Microsoft Excel is not a worksheet. The worksheet is the entire work area in the Microsoft Excel interface, while the workbook is where the worksheet is contained, which gives you the worksheet, and inside the worksheet you have the pages or the printable pages within the Microsoft Excel interface. Anyways, we will be talking about that in detail later as we continue to use the application, or as we continue to solve several issues or several challenges or problems within the application and within the user reach within the application. All right. We will also be looking at what is inside the Microsoft Excel worksheet. The Microsoft Excel worksheet contains cells. Most times people misuse the word cells and tables. Cells and tables. Cells and table are different things in the Microsoft Excel workspace or the Microsoft Excel interface or the Microsoft Excel application. This is a cell. The entire place here are cells. It's made up of several number of cells. Everything within this place are cells. As we can see in the workspace here, what we have, all the selected areas are cells, and these cells are not tables until certain lines are added, and those lines are called borders. It is only when borders are added to the Microsoft Excel cells that you turn them from cells to tables. We are also going to be seeing those in details as we proceed. This is cell A1. That is where you find the name box. Remember we talked about this area before now, the name box. The name box tells you where your cursor is placed at whatever point in the Microsoft Excel interface. Anywhere I place my cursor, the name box will give me the exact location of where the cursor has selected a particular cell, and that is what you see here. Just where this cell is, you can see this is in column G here, and you have row 6. That is where you can find this word that I have selected, which I typed, cells. It is located as cell G6, and that is the function of a name box. We are going to be talking about other functions and what they stand for as we proceed.
Thank you so much for following this video up to this extent. Don't forget that in our next video we are going to be discussing the home menu of the Microsoft Excel workspace or worksheet and its full components, and of course it's going to be interesting as well as educating. Please be there. Don't forget to recommend us to your friends. Forward these pages or this video to most of your friends who you think are in dire need of this particular training, and we would be grateful you followed. Also, we have our Facebook page as Trance-Technology. Please follow us, and of course our Instagram page as Trance-Technology_LC. Please follow us. Also, we have our YouTube channel. Please follow us also at Trance-Technologies. Don't forget we are also on TikTok. See you some other time. See you in my next video.